Afternoon, guys. We're out in the garage today working on the engine for the S10. This is the 2.8 liter V6, the big engine that came in the S10, which turns out didn't perform quite like they thought it was going to in that truck. When I got the truck, it was running and driving, and I drove it around for a while, and the transmission went out in it. It didn't completely go out. It wouldn't shift out of first gear. I was out at the airport flying the family airplane and went to get in it and drive home, and it would not shift. I had to do the long dreaded drive home. It's typically about a 25-30 minute drive home, but had to do it at 35 miles an hour, so, or less than 35. I think I was doing 25-ish, but anyways, got it home, pulled the transmission out of it, rebuilt it, and ever since I bought it, you'd crank it up and the engine would puff a giant puff of blue smoke out of it, burning oil off in it. And I thought there was a lifter going out in it because it had quite the tick going, but I pulled the valve covers off and saw that one of the valves, one of the rocker arms were actually loose, so I tightened it up and it quieted right down, but still blew a bunch of smoke out of it. So went ahead and pulled the engine out of it and was going to put some rings in it, and so pulled the heads off and tore the engine down, and this thing was filthy. So I took it over. There's a local machine shop that did some heads on one of my buddy's trucks, and we used him for that Chevy 350, and they came out pretty good. So I decided to take mine over there, and they're sitting right there, and they look good. I think they'll do the job for what I want to do with it. The budget truck is definitely staying budget, but he went through the heads on it for me. He ground the valves on it for me so they're nice and clean, and then he also decked them. He said they were pretty far out on the decking. So the rest of the hardware here, there's the manifolds and the engine mounts and some other bracketry and stuff. I've already been cleaning up on this for a while the engine's been out. But engine got back. I picked it up day before yesterday, I believe. And so I've been out here for the past couple hours taping it up. I really wasn't going to send the block to him because I was just going to shoot it with some degreaser and then keep it and do it myself. Well, then when the engine kit came, it had the cam and the main bearings and all that stuff in it. So I took it over there to him and asked him how much it was going to cost me if he was going to clean the block on it. So, and it was pretty reasonable. So he cleaned it for me. He actually put it in his oven and baked it clean, changed the main bearings, the cam bearings. The cam bearings are press fit in here, which as I was taping all this off, I realized he gave me all my parts back but my cam. He gave me right here's some more parts. This is the old cam that came out of it. And I asked him if I could have it to turn it into something cool, like a lamp or something, so I might do that. But then I started looking. There's the box of the other parts, and the cam is not in it. The bearings are in it, but the cam's not in it. And I put this cover plate on it so that I could paint it here in just a minute. But, so that kind of stinks. I got to go back over there and ask him for my cam back. I figured he was going to put it in there, but oh well, I guess that's the name of the game. But yeah, he put it in the oven for me, baked it, and then he also cleaned it, and now it is in this gray primer. I think he called it Very Prime. And he told me the cylinder heads are done in it too. He told me I could just leave it as is and it would not rust. It's a high temp paint. So I think what I'll do with it is we got some paint. We're going to paint it in the Chevy orange. Yes, you can come at me in the comments about it. It's this engine did not come in Chevy orange. It was mainly the 350 that did, but I like the Chevy orange, so I think we'll do it in the orange. So between the black valve covers, the orange block, and then the silver manifolds, and then the grayish colored, the very prime heads, I think it'll look pretty good. I think it'll come out pretty clean. I still got to clean up the accessory drive and the intake, but I have just about all the other parts on it clean and ready to go. I've been waiting on this block for about a month now, and finally got it back. So this project will start going so we can get the truck back up and running. So we'll tag team this with the golf cart. Golf cart is living outside today, as well as the airport car. So we'll get back on that probably tomorrow, and while the paint's drying on this. Spent yesterday taping it off and getting it prepped for paint, and yesterday evening I shot the first coat of this VHT engine enamel on it in the Chevy orange color. Picked it up from O'Reilly's locally, and I used it on the valve covers, and it sprays really well. It looks really good. I take that back. I did not spray it on the valve covers. I sprayed it on the these are the brackets for pulling the engine in and out of the engine bay. I got a little creative with colors. I wanted to do some orange on top of the engine. So we did black engine mounts, wrinkled black valve covers, which I think will look pretty cool. And then the manifolds are done in a high temp, I believe it's up to about 2,000 degree temp silver manifolds. And I think that'll look really good. The heads we're gonna leave in the very prime. I think I mentioned that in the video yesterday. So between orange, black, silver, and the very prime, I think it'll be a very cool looking engine. But the engine, it's been raining here in Georgia for like the past 4 or 5 days. So today the rain finally stopped and the sun's out a little bit. So I pushed the engine outside to do the second coat. I had to go out last night and get a second can of this, and just finished up touching it up. I did it all on the engine stand, so I was able to roll the engine around rotisserie style and get good coverage on it. And it probably now, I think I've rolled this engine around twice. So between the initial coat and then the second coat, there's some spots that probably have 3 coats of paint on it. So I'll pull you off the tripod here and we'll go outside and look it over. All right, guys, off the tripod now and outside. Sun is in and out, so I'll probably end up rolling it inside here in a few minutes. But I think it came out great. This paint is kind of a flat finish, but I like the way it looks. It dries very, very fast. So I noticed when I was getting it all ready yesterday that, I can't remember if I mentioned this yesterday. Future Ben, if this is already been talked about yesterday, you can edit this out. But the engine guy there in town gave me the old camshaft back, and it's sitting over there in my toolbox. But he did not give me my new camshaft. I gave it to him because he put the new main bearings, he put a new crank in it. My crank on where the rod bearing is on the number 1 cylinder over on that side over there, had a big old chunk out of it, as well as the cam had some pretty significant wear in it. So he went ahead and put a crank in it for me. But when I took him the bearings I figured he would want to, you know, since he's pressing the new cam bearings in it, I figured he'd just put the cam back in it. But he did not. So I got to go back over there and get the cam for it. And when I was also digging through the parts that he gave me back, he had the front cover pulled off of it right here. And it's over there on the shelf. I got to go figure out if I'm going to paint it or leave it in the very prime. I'm leaning more towards leaving it in the very prime color just because of how everything mounts to it. You won't really see much of it. But he didn't give me any of my timing gears back. I didn't. Part of that may be my fault because he called me the other day when he told me it was ready and said, hey, do you want me to leave all this apart for you? And I said, yeah, that's fine, because he knew I was going to paint it. So I'm not knocking him for it. I just want to make sure I have all the parts back in my possession so I can get this thing thrown back together. And I think the other reason is when he called me, he was asking me if I had a new timing chain and stuff for it, which I am 90% sure I do. It's probably lost over there on the shelf right there with all the other engine parts. I'm going to be honest, I'm sick of having all these parts laying around. I'm ready to have this thing back together and in the truck. So we're going to let this sit outside and dry a little longer, and then we'll roll it inside. I'll have to check with him on the cam and on the timing set. If it's all junk, I don't really care if he threw it away, or even if he still has it, I'll, you know, probably grab it and bring it and just throw it in the spare parts bin and look it over and just see where the wear spots are on it, just because I like learning that stuff. You know, more nerd moment. But anyways, we'll hopefully that timing chain is cheap if I don't have one, and I can maybe get it locally. Maybe I'll just order it and get it shipped. I go back to work tomorrow night, so I could, to catch back up, I'll order the parts and get them all coming in, so next time I get home we can get back on it and hopefully get this thing all put back together and ready to go in the truck before I go back to work next time. But for now, the engine's probably going to sit like this until I get those parts, or at least find those parts, and we'll go back over and work on the golf cart.